Hola from the west side. It's me, DC the Purple Diva. And welcome to Not So Random Chat, Saturday night edition, Saturday chill. Hey, listen well. Sorry I'm a little late, but I had to go get myself some caffeine. And of course, I went to a 7-Eleven. There's a lot of people in there. So I was late. How are you doing tonight on this Saturday night? I hope that you are doing well. I'm pulling it up on my phone as well because I already know that. Hey, Silks, how are you? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. I'm just kind of chill tonight. I'm just chilling tonight, you know. Staying on the positive side. Hey, Donnie, how you doing? Happy Saturday. The latest update on Southern California in the school shooting that happened 2 days ago, you guys, is the young man who perpetrated that has passed on. And on a brighter note, one of the high schools up there had a football game today against another high school. It was a championship game, and part of the proceeds from the game they're giving to the families. Then a pizza parlor up there also had was serving pizza all day today and was giving proceeds to the families of the 2 children who were killed. I know, it was horrible. I mean, you know, and they really don't have any reason for the young man doing it other than, you know, he was having he was in pain. He was in pain. He was still hurting from losing his dad, you know. But I'm glad that the community is, you know, trying to knit together, and hopefully, you know, they'll be able to ensure something like this doesn't happen there again. And more importantly, that the kids that are left at that school, you know, that they feel safe. Because we want all our kids to feel safe getting the education. You shouldn't have to fear going to school because another child has some mental things going on with them, or they're depressed and they're in pain, and they come to school and express that pain in such a violent way. How was everybody? Hey, Terry. How was everybody's Saturday, though? It was actually a pretty day here in California, in Southern California, but we're about to go into another one of our red alerts. So, you know, today we had normal temperatures. Tomorrow we're going to have summer temperatures again, you know. And I know that doesn't, you know, sit well with the rest of the nation where everybody else is freezing or it's raining and all that stuff. Believe me, we're not happy about it being like that here either. Hey, Doris, how are you? Good evening. So it's been a cool day. I actually am cooking right now while we're online. I have something in the oven. I made a shepherd's pie. And if you don't know what a shepherd's pie is, it is basically a vegetable and meat with the crust is potatoes, mashed potatoes. I know. I saw that. She's live earlier. I unfortunately have to keep my schedule. I have to be consistent. So I saw she was going, but she said she was going to go live earlier. And she didn't go live when she said she was going to go live. But, I'll catch her the next time. I know. I'm like, it's going to be hot tomorrow. So it's like, today I was doing, trying to get, move most of my summer stuff, pack it up, put it away. Cause, I hadn't really done the cleaning out of clothes in the closet. But I'm like, well, shoot, this is the reason why in California, it's hard for me to put all my summer clothes away when it's fall because of the weather. You'll have a couple of days in there where it's shorts weather. All of a sudden, out of nowhere. And it's almost Thanksgiving. That's the thing I missed about the East Coast. The temperatures changing and the leaves changing in the fall. But I don't miss the cold. I really don't. I don't miss the cold at all. Thank you for, yes. Thank you, Doris. Yes, please smash that thumbs up. Yeah, it is good, Terry, and it's easy to make from scratch. I just boil the potatoes and make homemade mashed potatoes, cook the meat and everything. Hey, Tattered Hearts. I can't. You using this funny script, Tattered Heart. I can't read that. I know you want me to use the copyright free music, I guess. But use regular print. That script is messing with my eyes. It is messing with my eyes. Coffee and see, I can't even read what it says. Can I play some beats? Oh yeah, I'll find some non-copyright version ones for the next live stream. Okay, now I finally figured out what the heck it was you were saying. It took me a minute to figure it out, Tatted Hearts. I had thought about that, but I didn't get a chance to go searching around on YouTube today to find any. Because I can play that on my iPad and just be in my mobile YouTube and let it play. But you guys, I think she's live right now, but I want to give a shout out to my friend Squishy Unicorn, because Squishy Unicorn is playing my playlist, and she's playing my live stream playlist, which is going on for days. So hopefully by the time she's finished playing my live streams, I will have a whole bunch of hours, you know. Let's hope so. But I thought that that was so sweet of her to do that, because she doesn't even have to do that. And she's all the way over in the UK. But today was, it was a really cool Saturday. I'm hoping tomorrow's a really good Sunday. I figured it out, Tatted Hearts. I figured out what you were saying. Yeah, but that font was like, that script, I was like, ooh, no. And I like that font, but because that font is really hard to read, that's why I don't use that. I use a different type of script font on my videos, because certain script ones mess with your eyes, just like certain block letter ones mess with your eyes. Oh, now you're being funny. Now, how are you doing it upside down, Tatted Hearts? Tatted Hearts is talking to us upside down now. I can read upside down, so. How's your day, Silk? You're funny. Upside down. A lot of people can read upside down, though. It's hard to read, Tatted Hearts. It's not that we can't read it. It just takes us a minute to read it, you know? People don't use cursive writing anymore. People don't write cursive anymore. So that's why it's like people's eyes, when they see script, it's like, it messes with our eyes. Do they even, I don't even think they teach kids cursive. Do they even teach them cursive? Well, I guess they have to, you know, so that they can, for their signatures. So they got to learn how to do cursive for signatures. But yeah, kids don't, because my son writes a mixture of cursive and print. That's his signature. It's a mixture of the two. What does that say? Oh, okay. You put it in two different things. I have to read the first one upside down so I understand where you're coming from in the second one. Funny, Tatted Hearts. You're messing with my eyes today. That's not funny. I mean, I can read it, but I did actually get through another chapter of Robin Crawford's book guide. I'm telling you, her chapters are long. So I got through another chapter, and she talks about when, you know, she and Whitney first got together, and that they, it was someone in Whitney's circle that introduced her to cocaine, and that Whitney told her that she had started using cocaine when she was 14 years old. 14. Man, when I was 14, I hadn't even really been introduced to weed yet. Okay. Man, that's a trip. And her older brother, I think, did it too. Because then there's a case later on where somebody in the house steals her stash. And then they talked about her Aunt Dee Dee Warwick, and that it wasn't true that Whitney does not that Whitney did not care for her. She loved her. She cared for her. They didn't have no issues. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yeah, we all know that one. And you actually spelled it right. From the movie Mary Poppins. Yeah. This is when she was a teenager. This is like when she's 17. She's doing all of this stuff. But it's just telling you that she was doing the cocaine and all of this stuff way before she even started her musical career. She was already smoking weed. She was already, doing coke. And apparently, she dabbled a little in some hash. But being around Whitney is how Robin got introduced to the cocaine, and then they started doing it together. It was their thing. Yeah, this was way before Bobby. Man. I mean, because Bobby, when we were 18, Bobby was 14 or 13. You know what I'm saying? There's like about 4 or 5 year age difference. Because I remember when New Edition came out. New Edition came out, and I was in college. I was like 18 when they came out. So, but they did come out around the same time. That's the funny thing. They did come out around the same time. Because they were like young coming out, but Whitney was coming out around the same time, because I remember when I was in college and I would sing some of her stuff. And this is when she was first coming out. Whitney was not your promiscuous type of, they always say Catholic school girls are wild, but she wasn't like that. She just, she did her little stuff, and and she was singing and everything. But Robin did talk about in the book how they didn't never label what they were doing, their relationship or anything, because they were both. Whitney was really into church, and she was going to church. But they knew that God saw what they were doing, even if nobody else did. I don't know what that meant, but she said for her, she was always the kind of girl that she liked whoever she liked. It could be a girl or it could be a guy. So I guess Robin is saying that she's been bisexual her whole life. No, the marijuana wasn't what she got addicted to. It was that cocaine, because that's what the big stars. That's what they had a lot of that in the entertainment world, so she could fit right in with that. But she was already engaging in it before she entered the entertainment industry, so it was easy for her to continue with that. Now that she had money, but, and then see, I think Whitney was also doing like those primos. She was doing those primos where they would, take the marijuana and they would put the cocaine in on top of it. I know, because somebody slipped me one of those once. When I was younger. That was the last time that person ever wrote anything for us back in the day. Man, I was not into that experience. I was pissed off about it, as a matter of fact. But I think she did those, mixed hers together. They were lovers. Silk, they were lovers. They had a relationship. But this relationship predated Bobby. It's like it started when they first met, like when Whitney was like 17. And went on for years, for several years. This is what she's talking about in her book. And it was always rumors about them, but neither one of them ever addressed them. So for Robin to suddenly at 60 decide she wants to, put it all out there, it's just a little suspect to me. That's why I'm reading it, and when I'm reading it, I'm listening to her speak it at the same time, so I can kind of hear, how she's saying the words. But in my opinion, Whitney gone. We don't need to know this. We really don't need to know this. Why are you telling us this? Why are you telling us this? That's what I feel. And I mean, the only saving grace is, thank God, Bobby Christina not here. She don't need to know that. So I don't even see what purpose this really serves. I know Robin don't need no money. So I don't know. According to Robin, Bobby did, and I think he's made references to it. He made reference to it in his biopic. So I think he did. He knew about it because he made reference to it in his biopic, the Bobby Brown story. But it was over before he ever came into the picture, because Whitney had cut it off, because according to what Robin said in the interview, I haven't gotten to it in the book yet, but according to what Robin said in the interview with Wendy Williams, Whitney broke it off because she felt that they wouldn't understand about it because of because of her going into the entertainment industry and the image that they wanted her to have. She didn't think that they would understand so she ended it, and they just remained friends from that point on. Oh, you didn't see the biopic? Yeah, it's floating around now. You should be able to find it for free somewhere. I'm just saying. You should be able to find it for free now, Terry. Hey, Miss Mahogany. I didn't see you come in. Yeah, well, Robin was part of her early life. Really. I remember Robin because I always thought she was gay. I mean, I really did. I'm sorry. I did. I thought she was. And I thought, that she was extremely protective over Whitney. Hey, J-Dog. What's up, J-Dog? I ain't seen you in a minute. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday night. We just in here chilling, talking about Robin Crawford's book about Whitney Houston. So yeah, I mean, he knew about it. In his biopic, he kind of alleges to it. Because remember, Robin was still around when Whitney got with Bobby and they got married. She was in the wedding. So, you know, she was still around. So they weren't, you know, doing anything at that time, but you know, he could probably tell by how they interacted with each other. I know. If you Google Robin Crawford, you'll come across pictures of her and Whitney from, like, you know, the very beginning of her career, because she was like a manager or something. She was in Whitney's entourage. And she was there with Whitney the night Whitney met Bobby Brown. I know, like, in college, she was like a basketball player. And then I think she might have done, like, you know, some international basketball playing after college. Yeah. Well, this is Robin. This is the Robin that he was talking about, Phil. Robin Crawford. She was from the same place that Whitney was from. They met when Whitney was still in high school, before Clive Davis. She was there from the beginning, you know. But I don't think that they ended on the best of terms, because Whitney was married to Bobby. You know, I don't think they ended on the best of terms. She's an ex basketball player, Silks. I don't know if she was a journalist or not. But she did play basketball. She played basketball in college. And she talks about it in this book. Because it was one of her basketball coaches from college that asked her to come over to this camp where she met Whitney. And they worked together. Or rather, Whitney would work one shift and they would kind of be meeting a lot. And that's how they became friends, because they worked at the same place. Hey, AKA James, how are you? But I don't know. It wasn't a shock to people that were around. My line sister, who pledged Delta with me, she used to be the CPA for LaFace Records. And at the time that they were getting ready to get married, I said to her, I'm like, I don't get that. And she said to me, Whitney and Bobby are more alike than not. Whitney is not what they show her to be as the entertainer. She is an around the way girl. And I guess, you know, just because she went to Catholic school, you know, that didn't mean nothing. It just means her parents sent her to Catholic school to get a better education. But she wasn't like no innocent, like they like to portray her, like they tried to portray her to be. You know, but her and Bobby were kind of like, they were more alike than not. As far as, you know, temperament and whatnot. You know, but you know, but and it was really, they were really in love, you know. It wasn't like with Babyface and his, you know, ex-wife Tracy. That was more of a business arrangement, so to speak, you know. But with Whitney and Bobby, it was, they wanted to be together. Yeah, they wanted her to look very clean and wholesome. You know, that was her image. And all she wanted to do was sing. So she was going to do whatever they wanted her to do because she wanted to sing. Oh, my goodness, Mahogany. Lioness of Judah? I'm sorry, what did you hear? What did you hear about Lioness of Judah? What did you hear about her? Yeah, Whitney was a firecracker. She was not what people thought she was. It's another YouTuber. It's another YouTuber, Terry. What the? Oh my God. Oh my God. And she's one of those ones that was all up in that. She's one of them ones that was all, thank you for retracting that though. She's one of those ones that was all up in that mess with Lovely T going after Tasha K. She was all up in that drama. Wow. See, people need to watch what they doing. And if that information is true, man, I'm gonna have to go looking on YouTube. I haven't checked her page in a minute either, because she was doing so much drama. I ain't have time for that. Wow, though. Yeah, really. I'm gonna go look because I'm sure it's out there. If that happened, see, and that's another reason why YouTube is doing all of this stuff. You know, as far as people putting it clearly that their channel is not for kids. Wow. Man, there's some sick people out there. And there's some sick people on YouTube too. I'm gonna go look into Mahogany. I'm gonna go look into. I'm actually walking across the room now because I gotta pull my shepherd's pie. I don't want it to burn. Can't have that. Cannot have that. Let me see how it's looking. It's almost done. Almost done. It's almost done. Wow, I'm gonna look for that too. Mahogany. Because I follow her. I mean, I followed her. I'm subscribed to her even though I don't watch her channel no more. Also, that's why. So she hasn't probably been online for a minute. Wow, I'm gonna have to look that up. Somebody's talking about it, I'm sure. Or talked about it. Yeah, that mask thing was just kind of, it's like, what you hiding for? Why you hiding? Why don't nobody see what you look like? I mean, my avatar is me. And when I upload my vlogs, you see me. You don't see my avatar. And sometimes when I come into my live streams, you see me. You don't see my avatar. But I'm walking back and forth from the laptop because I'm cooking. So that's the reason why y'all are watching the avatar. But yeah, she had that mask. That was just kind of, that looked like the kind of mask that, the dominatrix be having on, on those certain types of sites and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looked like to me. But obviously it was to so no one knew what her identity was on YouTube. Because clearly this is something that happened offline. Wow. That's like, and then I was talking, y'all heard me talking about that other YouTuber, well, former YouTuber, who's part of the reason why we're doing all of this, we're having to do all this stuff on our channels, who had her kids up on YouTube, that just died. Thankfully, that wasn't a woman of color, but it doesn't make it easy for all the ones that are on here with their kids all over YouTube. Yeah, the mask. I'm just saying, the mask to me looked like that kind of like the mask that people wear, that some of those women wear to disguise their identities in that lifestyle. But generally they're dealing with grown people, messing with kids. That means, I wonder if it was with underage. And see, a lot of people are dealing in that underground sex trafficking thing. I'm telling you. That's why all these kids be disappearing, especially black kids, especially black girls. People better wake up. See, Tasha got some integrity, because because they were out there trying to dox her and everything. I mean, behind all them crazy people going after her, that girl had to get her family and move to a different location. Wow, though, that's just insane. You see, that's what happens when you doing crazy stuff and then you go after other people because you hating on them, and then your baggage come on out. What you were doing. Wow. Oh yeah, I remember that fool. I remember that fool, Terry. I remember that fool. I'm like, don't come on YouTube wearing no mask. You know, don't do that. You know, if you don't want to show your face during the lives, you can put up the avatar. You know, that's just the little gray thing, and then nobody knows what you look like. You know, if that's how you want to play it. You know, but if you're a law-abiding citizen, or you know, you don't have nothing to hide, then you don't need to hide your face. That's just scary to me. Ooh, wow. Wow. Yeah, that would do it. That would do it, Mahogany. That would definitely do it. You know, they got some sick people out there. They got some sick people out there. And some of them will do anything to get attention. They want the attention on them. Good or bad, they want that attention. They want that attention. All right, I'm walking across the room again because I gotta go pull it out because it is red tea. It is red tea. And I do not want the bell to go off. So you guys can hear my big mouth while I get this out the oven and put it up on top of the stove so it can cool. Looks delicious too. Came out great. Woo. Nice and hot too. So it's gonna have to cool off. It is going to have to cool off. So put it up now. All right. I'm coming back. I'm coming back across the room so I can see what you guys are saying. Let me see. It is a whole lot of weird stuff going on, I'm telling you. Because then you have the trolls that come through. The troll patrol. And they say crazy stuff too. They don't like what you're talking about. They come into your chat and try to disrupt it and send it into some crazy, you know. But it's a lot of stuff happening on here, you know. Because you got to think about it. Just like we're trying to put out knowledge and positive things here on YouTube, you have other people who have another agenda, who put out chaos and negativity and drama. You know? But the point is that I don't think YouTube is going to pay them to do that anymore. So we'll see what happens. Because they're not playing with people that come on here spouting hate. You can't do it. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants them in their chats. You come in anybody's chat, you're going to get banned. Because we're not going to get our channels taken down. So, but yet and still, they're still out there doing all kinds of crazy things. I mean, you see videos popping up, you know, and then people get sucked into that negativity. Cool. Thanks, Silks. I know you're listening. But it's crazy. but you know, it's a few people out there that are like that, Terry, now, but they show their faces and they don't, and then they will say that they are patriotic, whatever that means. You know what I'm saying? But you can tell by what they're saying what their feelings are. You know what I'm saying? But they're very careful not to cross the line. But it's still evident where they're coming from. Yeah, I totally understand, Mahogany. I told you, did I tell you about my friend Dr. Brooke Bello? That's what she deals with, because she's also a survivor. She's also a survivor. And now she's Dr. Brooke Bello. She's got a PhD. But she deals in that. Yeah. She's on Facebook and she's on Instagram. And I believe she's also on YouTube. I believe she has a YouTube channel too. Hey, Squishy. I had to come through and give you a super chat. I had to. How are you? My shepherd's pie is off cooling right now. It's finished. It's off cooling right now. Squishy Unicorn. You know what I was going to tell you, Squishy? I didn't want to say it, you know, while you in your chat, but keep going into growth streams and just getting more people that are going to be loyal to your channel. Don't worry about the people who are unsubscribing, because you have a good channel. You know, because that's why I keep, you know, looking and to get more people that would be interested in what I am doing, because I know eventually, you know, some people may eventually, they don't like what my channel is about, or they may decide that they want to unsubscribe because they reached their maximum of, you know, subscribe accounts that they can subscribe to, and they don't hardly come to my account. So then they take me off, or whatever reason, or YouTube unsubscribes them, because YouTube does that too. So if you only lost a couple of subscribers, Squishy Unicorn, they may come back, because it may have been YouTube taking them away and then they give them back. It's just really weird how they do that. Yeah, they do that all the time to everybody. I don't even understand it. And people have to watch to make sure that they're still subscribed to whoever they subscribe to, because sometimes YouTube also unsubscribes you. And they unsubscribe you to channels that you're actively going to. Crazy. I'm not mad at YouTube either. I'm not mad at them. It's real easy for me to click that, you know, to click the thing that my videos are not for kids. I'm not worried about that. You know, when my son was not an adult, you know, I had his account restricted on YouTube, so he couldn't see anything that was inappropriate, but he's an adult now. And you know, I still watch what he's watching, but he tends to watch certain types of videos. You know, animal videos, train videos, plane videos, you know. So, hey, Top Cat, how are you? Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I was just telling they'll probably come back, Squishy Unicorn. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. It's weird. Like that's happened to me too. And then like a couple of days later, they were back. You know? I was telling Squishy Top Cat that I just took my the shepherd's pie out of the oven. It's cooling. Really? Did it do that to me with you, Silks? Because if it did, I could. Let me go look. No, I'm still showing subscribe to you. But I got unsubscribed from like Chef and More. I had to resubscribe to her. It's unsubscribed me from Soul Alchemy twice. 2 times I've had to resubscribe to her. 2 times I've been unsubscribed. You know, it's taking me off of there. And she's not unsubscribing me to her channel. So I don't know. Yeah, Top Cat. I'll send it virtually to you. It's gotta cool for a minute though, because it's too hot to eat. You know, you gotta let the potatoes and everything firm up so I can cut it into pie chunks, you know, squares. I love shepherd's pie. And I used to like get it when I would go out. And so I just decided that I was going to start making it whenever I wanted it from scratch because it's so easy to make. So I don't have to get it. I don't have to go out and get it anymore. Yeah, it's really good. And when I make that, usually my son loves it, but even still, it'll last. He'll be nibbling it on it, you know, tomorrow and Monday. So I won't have to cook until Monday. Yep, I won't have to cook until Monday. This will last for tomorrow dinner too. He'll be able to have this for tomorrow. He already ate earlier, but I know he's gonna want some of this because I made it tonight. But I made it tonight because I don't want to have to make it tomorrow. But yeah, the most important thing is protecting the kids. And anybody who's out there doing things to kids needs to go to jail. Yep, because that's a sickness. That's a sickness. That's a sickness. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm telling you, Silks. People got a couple of people have told me that they had to resubscribe to me too. And I've had to resubscribe to people. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Cause like forget who it was. I am Tasha. She said she had to resubscribe. She said, I thought I was subscribed to you. And then she said, and then I went and looked on your channel and found out I wasn't subscribed. She said, and then I figured out why I wasn't getting the notifications. But even when it has you subscribed, sometimes you get people's notifications and sometimes you don't, even if you rung the bell. That's why once I got the community tab, I try to put up there, you know, earlier, at least an hour before I'm going to go live so people will see it on the community tab now. You know? But then, of course, you still have to, they have to have you legitimately subscribe to me. But Squishy, I had shouted you out earlier, lady. I shouted you out earlier. I was giving a shout out for you playing on my playlist. I was thanking you in my stream in case you listened to it later because I knew you were on live. But now that you're here, I can say thank you again in my live stream. And if any of you guys are not subscribed to Squishy Unicorn, or you need to subscribe to her. When she does have her little panels, they are hilarious. And she just recently got monetized. So I went through her stream earlier and gave her a nice little love super chat. No worries, no worries, no worries. But yeah, I'm going to keep reading this Robin Crawford book, see what else she's saying. You know, she even brings into the play that Sissy was a very strong presence in Whitney's life. And it appears that just from what she's saying so far, that they kind of knew about Whitney doing drugs and everything, but they just turned a blind eye to it. They just acted like it wasn't happening. And that could be right. She could have just been in denial that it was as bad an issue as it was. And at the point to when we all knew about it, you know, I mean, she was a grown woman by that point. So who was going to control her? Who was going to tell her what to do? Yeah, it's so easy to make that shepherd's pie. I love making it. Once I figured out that I could just make it at home, cause I can cook, you know, I just did my own version of it, and then I went and looked on YouTube and looked at a couple of different recipes to see how close I was to the traditional, and I was spot on. I was spot on. I figured it out. I'd broken the code. What's big news? Oh, that gravy. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I put lots of butter in the mashed potatoes. So they're going to be really, really buttery on the top. And then I sprinkled a little bit of a cheese mixture on top of mine to add that to it. I just made it my own. Yep, I love it. It's so easy to make, you know, and you know, I like to do it sometimes when I can get the vegetables nice and fresh, you know. But if I can't, I'll usually get a pack of the a pack of the frozen, and just, you know, mix vegetables and just put them in there, cook them up with my. Anyway, it's cooling on the stove. I'm not eating it right now. It's for tomorrow. Night Top Tat, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who comes through. You know, I'm like, the other night, I want to tell you guys about one of the streams that I went that I was in, that we did a raid on with Chef and More. And this young lady, it's Yankee, I want to say it's Yankee Doodle Foods or something like that. Yankee Food Delight. She was so happy that we came into her stream. She was like really jumping up and down. I mean, she was like, for like about 10 minutes, she was like doing a happy dance. She was so humbled that she got so many people in her stream that night. It made us feel so good to show her that love. And I was like, I don't understand why people, feel discouraged when they have small streams. I like having a small stream because I think once it gets big, because I know it will eventually get big, but it'll lose that intimacy. So while it's small, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy it, because everybody grows their channels. More and more people pop through your streams, especially if you do them at different times of day. But since I do mine during this time, it works for the people it works for. And I'm good with that. Yep. Yeah, but this thing, well, the book came out on Tuesday, Silks. It came out on Tuesday. I went and I got the hard copy on Wednesday, but I downloaded the Audible copy on Tuesday when it came out. So I started reading it on Tuesday on the Audible, and then I caught up with it, the two hard copy and the Audible on Wednesday. So I'm actually listening and reading at the same time. But it's, the family hasn't really said nothing. When she did her interview with Wendy Williams, Wendy asked her what she thought about the 3D Whitney. She didn't really have much to say about it. I don't have much to say about it either. I don't want to see no 3D Prince. I don't want to see no 3D Whitney. I don't want to see no 3D Michael. I don't want to see no 3D Tupac. I don't want to see, them trying to make a virtual of somebody who's no longer with us. It's just weird to me. It's weird to me. Well, but you know what, Mahogany? Now that's something that's in the book. I haven't gotten to it yet in the book, but supposedly Eddie called Whitney and wanted her to not marry Bobby. He thought it was a mistake. But supposedly he really, really, really liked Whitney. He really wanted to be with her. But hey, I don't know about Eddie's sexuality. All I know is that trans woman that was with him is dead now. And she fell out a window, and he got a bunch of kids and seems to keep having them. So I don't know what that's all about, if because if they're all beards and everything, then having all these kids, what you doing? That's like what's his name? The one who I keep wanting to forget his name because he's now a woman. Caitlyn Jenner. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe Eddie wants to be something else too. Who knows? Have you guys seen that Dolomite on Netflix? I started watching it. I got to watch the whole thing. I started watching it, but I want to watch the whole thing. I heard it's really, really good. People are saying that Eddie's really, really good in this. It wouldn't last in your house, Terry? Yeah, I know. It's going to last in mine because number one, he's asleep right now. So he won't get to it until tomorrow. So since he won't get until tomorrow, it means that it will last until Monday. And that's all I need. I just need it to last 2 days. I just need it for 2 days, because that allows me to go to the grocery store on Monday and I don't have to go tomorrow. That's my thought process. I can go Monday when nobody's in the grocery store in the middle of the day when everybody else is at work. Yeah, Eddie is changing, is right. Here's the thing. I mean, at one point in his career, if you'd have said that Eddie went both ways, I would say no. But over the years, he has seriously changed from who that person was. And I don't know. I know that people tried to put Johnny Gill up in the mix on that stuff, and Johnny vehemently said he was not about that life. And that they were just friends, period. But they keep saying he is too, so. Like number 9. Yeah, he got a bunch of kids. Yeah, 9 kids. Yeah, 9 or 10, I don't know. Because he got a bunch of kids with Nicole. He has a chick, one with Spice, and then he got, I think, 2 kids with the chick he's with now. So I don't know. Yeah, that's somewhere like 8 or 9 kids, and he's what, 60? Wow. So, yeah, but he's a good actor, and he's supposedly going to be going back out on tour. He is telling us that he is going to tour again, and I hope that he comes and he's good, because I would like to see some of the old Eddie Murphy. I'd like to see some of that man, because he was really, really funny. And I'm not saying that he's not funny now, but we don't get to hear that kind of humor from him anymore. And I heard that they're supposed to be coming out with a new Beverly Hills Cop movie too. I heard that that's supposed to be coming out for him too. I know it won't be the old Eddie. It's going to be, shoot, he's 60. He might be older than that. But I think he's 60. So, a 60-year-old man can't do the same things that he did when he was 20-something. But hopefully, he'll come with something. Because he was never the conscious kind of comedian. He didn't talk about politics and that kind of stuff. So I don't know what he's going to come with. It'll be interesting to see what his comedy is going to be about. You didn't know that he dated her? Yeah. Supposedly, he fell for her hard. Supposedly, Eddie fell hard for Whitney and wanted to marry her. I know, Silks. I don't know what we're going to see now either, you know. But he keeps talking about it. He keeps saying he's going to do it. I'm walking to go check to see what the temperature is on my shepherd's pot. Let's see how it's doing over here. Oh, yeah, it's perfect. It's going to be perfect. It's nice. It's hot. It's going to be the bomb. It's going to be the bomb. Coming back. Got to put the milk back in the refrigerator, though. Put it back in the fridge. Because I had to have some milk for my mashed potatoes. They look so fluffy. What did they show on national TV? Well, yeah, I that's what I'm saying. But supposedly he's been testing. He's starting to test the material out and everything with the comedy circuits and stuff, you know, going to small clubs and stuff. So we'll see if he can get his funny back, because, you know, the fans are not going, they're going to be real in those little clubs. So he going to have to work it out just like he had to do back in the day. You know, he got to figure out how he's going to come out, because he can't come out like he did when he was 20 something. He can't be that man. You know, he got a bunch of kids now who are mostly grown. His jokes can't be about the stuff that it was about back then, you know? Yep. I know. But Whitney, when she met Bobby, you know, and they got together, that's all she wrote. You know, it didn't matter to her that he had these other kids and stuff already. It was something about him that she, you know, and it, I mean, even though that series that they had, that reality show they had on there, Bobby Loves Whitney, didn't, you know, it was kind of crazy, but it showed you that she really loved him, that was no act. They were really together, you know, and it also showed you that she was just as dysfunctional as he was. You know, he was really a codependent. And they made their daughter into a codependent because she grew up with that. You know? But it's going to be interesting to see what he comes out with. It's going to be real interesting to see what kind of comedy a 60-year-old Eddie Murphy can bring, you know, because the same people that watched him back then are going to be are the same ones who are going to be watching them now. And we're not the same as we were back then either, you know. So he better come hard or go home. come hard or go home, you know? Well, guys, I am DC the Purple Diva on all social media platforms except for Twitter. Because on Twitter, that account is deactivated because somebody hacked it. So on there, I am the Purple Diva DC instead of DC the Purple Diva. Because they won't let me have that name again. Even though I was the account holder of the other account. Gotta love Twitter. And so I used to have like, I don't know, like almost 2,000 followers on Twitter because I've been on there for years. And now I have, I think 50, but it's okay. I'll just grow it back up again. See, Miss Mahogany, you made a new friend. You made a new friend. I know. I'm on Snapchat. I think I've only done a few. I haven't really been on there a lot lately. I just go on there to get the filters for my live stream pictures. Because if you're on Snapchat, you'll notice that generally the live stream thumbnail, that picture is a Snapchat filter. I usually use a Snapchat filter for live stream thumbnails, and that's usually what I go on Snapchat for right now. And sometimes when I upload my videos, I'll go on there and promote it on Snapchat too. Yeah, it's still Saturday for us in the West, but in the Midwest and on the East Coast, it is probably Sunday already. And I know it is Sunday in the UK, where Squishy Unicorn is. But probably around the time I get off, it'll almost be Sunday here. It'll almost be Sunday. We love you, Miss Mahogany, Ms. Mahogany, Mrs. Mahogany. I remember when it was the future. And now it's no longer the future. Thank you, Silks. Yeah, my BFF, who's on the East Coast, is SDA. Whole family is. But she, like me, was raised Roman Catholic. So Saturday is they celebrate the Sabbath and go to church on Saturday. And it's interesting to me, actually, SDAs, the Seventh-day Adventists and stuff, because when I actually was coming out of the Roman Catholic Church, I used to go to their Revelation seminars and stuff where they would talk about the book of Revelation. Because I was interested in learning more about the Bible since, clearly in Catholicism, we weren't being told the truth unless you were at a church that was really teaching the Bible. And then, of course, they were not welcomed very much in Catholicism at that time. But anyway, I looked at that, and then I still stayed in the Catholic Church for a few more years because I found a church that I thought was a word church here in California. But it was in that predominantly Black and Latino Catholic church here in California that I came into the presence of a priest who was a pedophile and was doing those things at that church. So that is what made me leave the Catholic Church. I was done with the Catholic Church. You know, because being raised Catholic, you generally don't have a choice about being Catholic. You know, I didn't have a choice. It was what we were doing growing up. But at that point, I left. And when I left, I didn't tell nobody. I didn't tell my sister or my brother why I was leaving, because I did not want them to leave because I left. I wanted them to leave because it was their decision. Because if you're raised Roman Catholic, you are guilted about leaving the church. Yeah. So anyway, I left. And didn't say why I was leaving. I just said, you know, I left basically because the person I was married to was not Catholic, and we were looking for a church that we could both go to. That was true, but this incident sped it up. And so while I was doing that soul searching, I did also look at Seventh-day Adventism. But I decided that I couldn't be in another church that had a whole bunch of rules after being a Catholic. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My mom, even though she remained Catholic until the day she died, she would go to church on Saturday, and then she would go to church with me on Sunday when she came to California. She would go to her Catholic church on Saturday, and then she would come to my church that was non-denominational on Sunday. But, you know, I don't have anything against those who have stayed in the Catholic Church. I just chose not to stay in a church that promoted that stuff and protected those people. You know? Couldn't do it. Even though I grew up in it. Couldn't do it. And that was before all of their mess came out. I left before the mess came out because they were still covering the crap up. But I just think that the Catholic Church is part of the stuff that's going to happen at the end of this world. And a whole bunch more of wickedness from that place is going to come out. Wasn't Hitler Catholic? Wasn't he Catholic? Wasn't Hitler Catholic? I think he was. I think that he was. Yeah, exactly. Because the Roman Catholic Church is not the church that was derived from Judaism. The Greek Orthodox Church is. When they took the church to Rome, they introduced all that paganism into it. They introduced, all the saints, the statues. They used to be gods and goddesses, now became saints. And they used those holidays, like Christmas was some God's birthday. So now they made it Jesus Christ's birthday. And the whole world goes along with the craziness. So yeah, it's not even. Yeah, exactly. The Vatican City is its own country inside of Italy. Inside of the city of Rome, it's its own little country. And it's run by the Jesuits. Yep, Jesuits. And they were behind all that craziness that Hitler did. But y'all, I know that from doing research, because all of that stuff is run by the Jesuits. The Jesuits run everything, including the Vatican, including the Pope. Yep, there's a black Pope, and the black Pope is not black. It's just, that's what they call him. And the black Pope is a Jesuit. And that person is always in charge of everything. They have more power than the Pope himself. And they do not have to obey the Pope. Just saying. Yep, they sure do have their own money system. They have their own police. They have their own post office. They have their own bank. All of that in Vatican City. Yep. Jesuit. It's, I'm gonna spell it in the chat. Let me spell it in the chat. Shit. Jesuit. There you go. That's it. Jesuit. Jesuit priest. It's an order of priests. They're the most powerful order of priests in the entire world. They're the ones that run everything. They're the ones, the University of Notre Dame in Indiana, run by Jesuits. The school that was right next to my school, that was an all-boy Catholic high school, was run by the Jesuits. And the Jesuits were the ones who were running that stuff that Hitler was doing, because Hitler was Catholic. But it wouldn't look good if the church was the one who's trying to kill the Jewish people. But then again, we can always go into the fact of whether were they the true Israelites or not scenario as well. So, and since I'm not an expert on that part, I'm not going to, go into great detail on it. But there are claims out there that the people who claim to be the Israelites or the Jews are not the real true people. That there's some other people, they're imposters, who have stolen another people's identity and heritage from God. And if that's true, then God help them, because that means the judgment of God is going to come down on them. Hey, Latu. Yes, the Jesuits. Yes, exactly, 1SP. Yep. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, when we're having all of these wars and we're fighting with people that are in Islam and everything, all of these wars are all religious. They see the Western world and Christianity in the Western world as the Church of Rome. They don't distinguish all of the denominations or anything, because they all came out of the Church of Rome. All of the Protestant denominations all fell out of it. All of it. So we're all part of that to them, even if we aren't part of that. That's how they see all of it. They don't distinguish none of it. It's all Western religion to them. And they're against anybody who's in Western religion. And they're against anybody who, has a strong allegiance with the people who say that they are Israel in the state of Israel. And I know that sounded confusing, but it's just, yeah, exactly. The whole situation is really, 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 really deep. I mean, it's really, really deep. Yes, there's political and power and stuff on this side and having control and everything, but all of these ones who are doing this for Islam, it's religious to them. It is a religious war that has gone on for centuries, since the Crusades. Since the Crusades, it's that deep. It's that deep. It is. It's just that deep. But I mean, we all have heard the stories that the people that claim that are in Israel and say that they are Israelites. I mean, you have to think about 2,000 years ago, all of the people who were Israelites were not white. I don't know how else to say it, but to say it that way, were not. So you have to wonder, how did they become white? How are they now white? And they weren't. I'm just saying. It's a legitimate question. Yep, 1SP. But you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I'm saying, why? How do people who we know were of color suddenly become not people of color? I'm in the kitchen, guys. Just for a second. I'm coming right back. My son came downstairs. Why did you do it like that, sweetie? You should have let mommy do it. You know I would have made it for you. Just leave it alone, okay? Don't get any more. You got you some now. He came down here to get him some. He couldn't wait. He could not wait. I don't know, Terry. It might not last in my house. Because my son came downstairs to get him some. And he took him a big chunk out of that pan. He took a big chunk out. Thank you, Latu. I'm glad you're here to listen. Well, we know they went somewhere. You know, see, that's the part that's really foggy as to if the people that were in Europe are the actual Jews. How did they get there? You know what I mean? How'd they get there? I'm trying to understand that, because when you look in the Bible and everything, you don't see anything that shows that they could have. Anyway, maybe I'm getting too deep for y'all. Are you talking about that island silk? Christianity was introduced to Africans by Hebrews. I know that one, SP. The original Christians were the Church of Antioch. The Church of Antioch was the original Christian church. That was the first Christian church in Africa. And Paul went there and helped them to start the church. The original, you know, when they're talking about the people in the churches that Paul is writing letters to, most of those churches were in Africa. You know? It took a minute before any churches got across the Mediterranean into the southern parts of Europe, you know, like to Greece and to Italy. You know, and then when they got it, what did they do with it? They perverted it, and then they came back and went back to Africa, and they wanted their resources, and then they tried to force their perversion on everyone there, and they would kill them if they wouldn't take the perversion, and then they raped the land. They raped the land. And this is we talking way before they started colonizing and, you know, going into Africa and, you know, getting in cahoots with the cowards that sold our ancestors off. This is before that, you know. But these crazy people were under some impression that our ancestors did not know God. They knew God. They knew the true God. And that's the reason why we have so many people of color now who reject Christianity because they reject the European Christianity. But then you have people who are in non-denominational churches like me, you know, where we have a pastor who knows that we need to know who we are in the Bible and goes through all of the scriptures and shows us where we are all in there and how we were part of God's plan from the very beginning. and nothing that these people can tell us, you know, is the truth, because it's not. It's not the truth. You know, God doesn't see color, but God also always had us in his plan. We were always there. We were always, I mean, you know, people don't think about that. You know, all of the people who were in the Bible who were of color. You know, it's just a reality. You know, and you know, like one of the things for me, like even though I left the Catholic Church, as far as they're concerned, I'm just a backslidden Catholic. Because unless you're actually excommunicated, you know, they still try to count you among their membership. Now, I don't belong to any Catholic church. And never, ever, ever will again in life. You know, just won't be me. Won't be me ever again in life. Can't be me. You know, because I know the truth. I know the word. I know who I am. And I know what's up with them. You know, I just pray for the people who stay in it. You know, but it just amazes me, you know, that the Crusaders went to Africa with a perverted version of God and tried to force that version of God on to the Africans. And it worked with some of them, because you do have some Africans that are in the Roman Catholic Church, but you have far more who are Christians and not, you know, I mean, and understand who they are, understand who they always have been, you know. I know, Mahogany, they did, but it's still coming back. You know, they can destroy some, but but there's things that are coming back. You know, I mean, think about it. You have that island of people that have been there for thousands of years, apparently. You know, and they have a oral history and know when they came there from Africa. I forget the name of that island because people have been talking about it. Let me see what you said, 1SP. The Roman Empire controlled most of Europe and needed people to occupy Israel and Judah. So when most of the original Jews fled south, Rome moved the Europeans into blend in with who was left. So they're false. They're false. They're not real. And that's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy when the last days come. I'm telling you, because when the last days come, God knows who his chosen people are. And these people, it's how can, you know, I mean, somebody got to know. Someone in secret, high up must know the truth within their ranks. for this fallacy to go on for so long. That's just crazy to me. Man, I need to go do some reading. I need to go do some reading. For real, for real. I need to go do some reading. Because them folks, that's the biggest cover up of all. And that would explain why they won't accept the Ethiopian Jews. Because we know the Ethiopian Jews are real. We know that they're real. No one's questioning them. Nobody's questioning them at all. But that's deep. Then that leads me to wonder who the heck it is that this president has gotten into bed with, guys. Because if they're not the Jews in the Bible, who the heck are they? Who the heck are they? And that would mean the biblical prophecy is not being fulfilled through these people. I'm like, if you want to go even deeper, if they aren't the real people, then nothing that's going on there is the real deal. Yep. Well, since we don't know what part of Africa we came from, we could. Our heritage was stolen. We don't know. We don't know who we are. That's what I'm saying. We don't know who we are. I mean, when you talk to those black Israelites, they have a piece of the truth, but they don't have the whole truth. And that little piece of the truth that they have, they tend to distort. That's why I don't listen to them. Hey, Matt. How are you? Happy Saturday or Sunday if it's already Sunday. It just makes it so, it's like when you start thinking about the truth and all the stuff that's going on, it just starts to blow your mind. It starts to blow your mind. Because then you say, well, dang, if those people aren't really the Israelites, then why are they trying to take over that entire land? And then that also leads you to say, well, then who the heck are the Palestinians? Because the real war is supposed to be between the descendants of Israel and the descendants of Ishmael. But if those people that are in Israel are not the true descendants of Israel, where are they? I know that was deep, but I know. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Mahogany. They got a little bit of the truth. And the little bit of truth they got, they perverted. For real. You know? But people need to remember that the real Christian church originated in Africa. And we already knew there was one God when they were still worshiping trees in Europe. Let's just be real. They were worshiping trees and statues, and we already knew there was one God. And that he was unseen. And you couldn't build a statue for him. Because he is, I am that I am. I know. I know. I know, 1SP. I know. The only way let's see. Yep. Yeah, we were forced to take the European version. But once you get woke, you can no longer accept it. Once you get woke, you can no longer accept that. And once you know the truth, you can't help but say the truth. That's right, Lutu. That's absolutely right. I know. That's what I'm saying. Once you know the truth, you cannot not, you know. That's why it's like, you know, you look at the agenda and you look at all this stuff that's going on and you're waiting for everybody else to wake up, but they're not trying to wake up. They much prefer to be asleep, so they stay asleep. But I mean, like, for me, when I was going through my coming of knowing the truth about the Roman Catholic Church, I wandered upon these comic books by this place called Chick Publications. I don't think they're around anymore. But these comic books were all about the Jesuit priests and all about the fallacies of Roman Catholicism and all the stuff that they added, like the bread, the wafers, and the wine, and saying that it's at the actual body and blood rather than to represent it like it's supposed to. And it talked about the stuff that the priests were doing. It talked about, you know, the bodies of babies being found under nunneries, you know, and it was done by this priest who was an ex-Jesuit priest, and he talked about his life. He talked about all the things that had happened to him, and he was telling people the truth about the Roman Catholic Church. And this is before all the stuff exploded about priests doing those things that they were doing. So when I saw this stuff happening at the church I was in, I was like, dang, everything that man said in those comics books was the truth. And I had to leave. I couldn't be there no more. Because that's one of the reasons why I couldn't go to denominational church. Because to me, all denominations are still connected to Roman Catholicism, even though they're Protestant, because they all came out of that. They all came out of it. You know? They all came out of it. And I know for some people that's touchy, but you know what? For me, I was in the Catholic Church. I grew up in it. I saw firsthand, a situation with this mess going on here in the Los Angeles Archdiocese before the whole situation blew up. And they were covering up that stuff because all they did was transfer that priest someplace else. But God took care of it. God took care of it. Because years later, he got in an accident on a road down in Mississippi, and he lost one of his eyes. God took care of it. So now he only has one eye, so he can't be looking at those little boys. That part. Yeah, we were talking about who were the real Jews. So I don't know who the heck those people are. I really don't. Because have you noticed when they try to do their depictions of what Jesus might have looked like based on that shroud of Turin, that he don't look nothing like them people that claim they're Jewish? Have y'all noticed that? Yep, don't look nothing like those people. But they try to make him look Middle Eastern. These folk are in denial. Yep. Right. Right, Terry. And so those are the people who were left behind when the real Jews left. Me too, Mahogany. I'm like a history buff. And I'm really a religious history buff. Because I like to know about this stuff. Because in the end, it's going to come down to having your eyes wide open. That's why I wonder about this national ID that we all have to get. And what its real purpose is. Because even though you're getting it at each separate state that you live in, they all have to have the same stuff on them. It's going to be interesting with that thing. Because I always think about taking the mark and what form that mark that they're going to try to force everyone to take is going to come in the form of, you know? They're there due to Zionism. Supposedly. But the thing is that if they are not the true people of God, then God's not going to protect them. And if they're not the true Jews, then who the heck are they worshiping when they go into their synagogues and everything? Who are they worshiping? I'm just saying. Because, see, Judaism is a religion. Israel is a nation that God created out of people of color. So, again, my question keeps being, how did they end up white? If these are the true people, you know? But again, you know, hey, I'm just asking questions. I know they didn't want you to ask questions as a child, even in Catholicism. Imagine that. And they couldn't answer your questions. That's why they didn't want you to ask questions. They wanted you to just believe what it is they were saying. And half of them didn't know why they were saying what they were saying. But I know that Jesus was a real person. I know that he was rejected by his own people. And that those are the people who will be the 144,000. And that not necessarily are those people in the state of Israel. And did y'all hear that they're trying to recreate to bring back like the live sacrifices and stuff that they are actually breeding red heifers. Did y'all hear about that? That's in Eastern Europe, Terry. That ain't nowhere near Israel. How the hell could they how the hell could they say that they were Jews? How the heck did that happen? I don't know. Who was stupid enough to believe that cover up? That lie. Hey, Sexy D. That's what I'm saying. Eastern Europe. Wow. Because that's nowhere near Africa and Israel. So who the heck are you? You know what I mean? Who the heck are you? And what is your real history versus the one you're saying is yours? You stole somebody else's history. That's what it sounds like. You stole someone else's history. And if we're to believe the Bible, then that means that the wrath of God is coming to them. You know, that means that the wrath of God is coming on those people. I wouldn't even want to be those people. Yeah, he's Yeshua. Yeshua. Yeah, they called him the Christ. That's what they did. They put it on his thing. Jesus the Christ, King of the Jews. That's where the name Christian comes from, because they called him Jesus the Christ. Wow, Terry, you got my head spinning. You got my head spinning with that one. So these people just appeared out of nowhere. And nobody questions them. Nobody questions them. Nobody. Nobody questioned these crazy people. And then I wonder if the people that are in Mexico, because there is a sector of people in Mexico who are Jewish, supposedly. They were part of hidden Jews, supposedly, in Spain. And they fled to Mexico, and now their descendants keep practicing Judaism in secret. But people think that they're Roman Catholic in public. So I wonder if those people are also part of that a part of those people from that same place. You know what I'm talking about? The Jews that are Mexican. Many people don't know that they collaborated with the Nazis against those who were killed in Germany. The Roman Catholic Church was behind that. That's what I was saying earlier, Terry. Hitler was Roman Catholic, and the Jesuit priest, his priest, yeah. Okay, so earlier I was talking about I started the conversation out by saying that Hitler was Roman Catholic. And I was talking about the fact that the Jesuit priests actually run Rome. They run everything. And that they were behind Hitler starting all of that stuff in Germany and exterminating the quote unquote Jews. But so the people who were exterminated in Nazi Germany were these people from that place on the Caspian and the Black Sea, right? Well, I know that the Israel that's there is a secular state, because if those people aren't the original tribes of Israel, then it can't have anything. They can't be the people that God gave that land to, because of but the Jesuit priests run everything in secret. The Jesuit priests run everything in secret, Matt. Yeah. Hitler tricked them into helping him with this thing. But what I'm saying is that his plan to exterminate those people, that came from the Jesuit priest and indirectly came from Rome, from Vatican City. They were connected in that stuff. That was something else that I also read when I read that stuff about that Jesuit priest in those comic strips. I wouldn't be surprised by that, 1SP, because their money was not clean money at all. And they were staunch Roman Catholics. Basically, Matt, huh? Basically, huh? It seems like it. You know, I mean, my question is it's a simple question. You know, how did the people leave a land of color and come back not of color? Because I don't know, we left Africa of color and we're the ancestors, and we still this color. We still are people of color. No matter how much they try to mix us, we still are people of color. But yeah, they're trying to get rid of us too. They want it to seem like people of color weren't people of color. They even try to convince you that the ancient Egyptians weren't people of color. That's such BS. We know that they were. We know that they were. Sephardium Jews. What is that? Is that what these people are? Oh, is that what she says now? Cher? She's white too, though. She's not all Native American. Didn't they always question whether or not she even actually had any Native in her? We know that. Yep, exactly. That's my point. It started there, and you know, people from Africa are still the same, you know, basically are the same color. The people that are not, you know, people of color came there from someplace else. They weren't there first. Why is it so hard for them to understand that? Cool. Cher is a $5 Indian. Yeah, I know. But they claim to be. The Sarpanian Jews. I don't know what they call those ones that are in Mexico, though. But I went and looked it up, because how I even found out about that is I was reading some book, and it was a fictional book. And in this fictional book, some of the characters were part of these secret Jews in Mexico that masquerade as being Roman Catholic in public, but practice Judaism in private. Yeah, I gotta look it up. I'm gonna look it up again, and I'm gonna find out what they're called, because they came from Spain, because it started in Spain. So apparently these are, you know, that were in Spain, and they would have been there probably during the time when the Moors were there, because Spain had Islam and Christianity all mixed up in it. So well, Rome had a large empire at one point, Matt. The Roman Empire was very huge during the time of Constantine. He amassed a large part of land, and it went all through the majority of Europe, you know. But then you had Genghis Khan and the Mongolians come over and stop that. Told you, I can talk history all the time, but I'm like, it's like when you think about it, it's like all of this stuff in history, it really everything all boils down to stuff about God and who the real God is. And you have all these fakers who are masquerading that they are the true people of God. That's just so crazy to me. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. In ancient Spain. And then when they made Roman Catholicism like the religion in Spain, they went into hiding. So that's my question. Are they the same people as those other people that now occupy Israel? No problem, Silks. Yeah. Yeah, I know the Ottoman Empire. And see, the Ottoman Empire, like that's what I'm saying. The Greek Orthodox Church, which was the other part that didn't go to Rome, the Eastern Christian Church, was in the Ottoman Empire. Yep, you're right about that, 1SP. That is insane, Terry. Okay, so the Sephardian Jews in Spain, are they part of these fake people in Israel now? They're part of these fake people in Israel now? Right, right. Yeah, you're right about that, Terry, because if they're not the biblical nation of Israel, they're liars. And the wrath of God will come. The wrath of God will come. You know? But the thing is that because they say that they are, if anybody speaks against them, then it's considered, hate. I am, Terry. I'm going to be looking it up. I'm going to look it up. Because it's so confusing, because it's like, to me now, it's like the only people that I know are real are the Ethiopians. That means the only ones that are real are the Ethiopians. That's what it means. And supposedly there was rumors that they actually had the Ark of the Covenant in Ethiopia. That was rumored. I don't know about that, Matt. I'd have to look into my Roman history. I don't remember that though. Because the Viking history doesn't even talk anything about them having any dealings with the Romans. Well, if they weren't, then that means then the only ones are the ones from Ethiopia. And Sudan too. I didn't know about them. I didn't know about the Sudanese. Man, this is a trip. This is like the Great Deception. This is like the Great Deception. This is like the Great Deception. It really is. Woo! Shoot, man. See, I don't really even pay attention. But then that would mean that, you know, I mean, they may be fulfilling a prophecy, but all they're doing is what's going to end up happening is it's whoever the true Israelites are going to rise up, because God is going to identify them. And when they don't get identified, woo, it's going to be funky. It's going to be funky. But this is a great deception. It's a great deception. I don't even understand how they could possibly get away with it. And then how is it that they know Hebrew? Did they learn it when they went to Israel? How did they know Hebrew? How did they learn a language that was not their own? Please don't tell me they're not speaking Hebrew, because I know they are. I just want to know, how could they? And then here's the other thing. Have you guys ever watched like that show that comes on PBS with that guy, that black guy, Henry something or another? And he's done like those DNA tests, and some of the people come up as being part of this specific line of Jewish people called a Sikhi Jews or something. It's like some specific line. So then now my question is, are those people also those people? Because how can they trick DNA? You know what I mean? How can they be tricking DNA and everything? Wouldn't DNA tell where you're from? Tell the region where your ancestors are from? I'm just thinking. And maybe I'm just going too deep on it. I guess so. And so that means that when they're doing the DNA stuff and everything, they're identifying those people that way and identifying those bloodlines. So that means that they're all in on, everybody's in on the deception. That means everybody's in on the deception. That means everybody's in on the deception. But I just don't get it. Why would the world be in on this on such a great lie? Why would the whole world accept this lie? You know what I mean? What is the purpose of tricking the whole world? What, you know? Put them in the middle of all of those Arabs. Destabilizing everything, and yes. Right. So basically, like I said, the only real Jews are in Ethiopia, and then the ones, I guess, the one SP is talking about that are in Sudan, but then that's all still people of color. No blonde hair, blue eyes. No blonde hair, no blue eyes. No Aryan features. I'm just saying. No Aryan features. Yeah. But you know, like, that's another thing, like because when we go into the different types of blood and everything, and you factor in the people who have quote unquote RH in their blood and the people who have no RH in their blood, you know, and how people who have no RH in their blood cannot mix blood with people who have RH in their blood. It's it's like, are we, you wonder, it's like, are we really one species, or is it two, or are we blended species? It just, it just starts to make your head hurt when you start thinking about all those things. Because if originally nobody had RH in their blood, then where'd the RH come from? Hey, Toya. Toya, look up the stream. Look who's here. Or look down the stream now. Miss Mahogany's here too. Darwin's theory is just bull crap from my perspective, because I know there is no missing link, because they cannot find the missing link. They can't find any way to truly link us to monkeys. They can't do it. That link doesn't exist, because we are not a species that came from monkeys. So yeah, I don't do Darwinism. That's another lie that they perpetrate. It's another lie that they perpetrate. It's just lies. But Terry, I'm going to be doing some reading. I'm going to be doing some serious reading on this, on that, especially on those people. So all of those people that are claiming that they are fakes. It's a fallacy. It's a fallacy. And I just wonder how they're working, how they think that they're going to work in all of this stuff. They're not fulfilling biblical prophecy. Because first of all, quote unquote Jews don't even believe anything that's in the New Testament. So how would they know anything? So how would they be, fulfilling biblical prophecy or anything like that? That's ridiculous. That's just what they want us to believe. Crazy. Thank you so much for coming, Latu. I appreciate. Obviously, it was a political move. No, I'm talking about these people that are in Israel. These people that are in Israel, 1SP. And then among these people in Israel, there's also a group of these people that came from that group that are what you call Messianic Jews. And those Jews are followers of Christ. Do I believe that there were dinosaurs? Yep. I believe that they were created by Satan. I believe that they were his attempt at creating life. And they were part of what was here before God formed everything. That was his attempt. He didn't make a good attempt. And that's why they went away. That's what I'm saying. The fake ones don't. I'm not talking about the people in Ethiopia. But the fake ones, no, they don't. They renounced the deity of Christ. They don't even believe he was God. So that part, they don't even believe it was God. I don't even know what those people believe. Now that I'm thinking about it, and it's not just them. It would be everyone. It would be everyone, even those here who profess. So, I just have to wrap my head around it. Because, it's like, then you have all these people who don't even know. That means they've been lied to about who they are. And they believe the lie. Because the original people perpetrated the lie. And now everyone else believes the lie. And so the people that are here now, they think they are who they think this is who they really are, and it's not who they are. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So they rather just so steal somebody else's history and hand it down, and now all your descendants are believing they're somebody who they aren't. Do you see how twisted that is, though, Terry? How twisted that is? That's so twisted to do that. Steal someone else's history, claim it as your own, and then your descendants think they are somebody who they are not. That is something deep. Yeah. I guess. Yeah, that's true. So that means I'm gonna have to go back to the early 1900s and really look at what was going on. Because they basically appeared out of nowhere and claimed that they were them. I guess, you know? So that would mean that they have created a mythical history. Seriously, a mythical history of them leaving Israel and migrating to Europe. They have to have this mythical history somewhere. You know what I mean? It must exist somewhere. You know, because they got to have something to back up the whole thing that leads them back there. I'm just saying. So they were trying to go other places first. They were trying to get into Africa. Yeah, that was going to happen. Them folk in Uganda were crazy, and they still are. They've gone through some craziness in Uganda. Brazil? Well, the Portuguese weren't going to have that. And you know, Brazil is like a melting pot. There's so many different people in Brazil. Mother Teresa might be there, but I don't know about them popes. Mother Teresa might be there because regardless of the fact that she was Catholic, she had a true heart for God. You know, I mean, she left a life of leisure and could have, you know, I mean, her family was very, very well to do. And she left all of that to do what she did for her entire life, you know. So I'm sure she's, you know, there. But, you know, I mean, when people think about, when we talk about heaven and everything, we act like it's another place when it's really another dimension, because I mean, there's different dimensions. And that's the thing, is like in our human state, there's things that we can't see that are going on around us, because our minds won't let us see them, because we couldn't accept them. Yeah, man, I don't know who those people are. Yeah, my head is just spinning, about the whole thing, because you just think about it. I mean, their real history is the Holocaust, but they can never explain how they got to Europe if they were in Israel. And conveniently for them, it's not in the books of the Bible that we look at and that we, that's accepted. But, I sure would like to see what's, in some of those lost books of the Bible and the Dead Sea Scrolls. You know what I mean? Because I think they would give some light. And it's interesting that none of that stuff came to light until after these people already were there. You know what I mean? Because I think it was in the 50s that they started talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls. He was up a little while ago, Latoya. He came downstairs, got him some shepherd's pie, because I made a shepherd's pie tonight, ate it, and left and went back to bed. So yeah, he gone back to bed. He just came down to get him some food. Yeah, I feel you on that, Terry. I mean, but it's just like all these people in America whose ancestors came from all over Europe, have been told their whole life that they're from someplace that they're not. That's the part. So I guess of course, they would all come up with the same kind of bloodlines. But then if you try to match them to the Ethiopians, what would happen? Can they trace, can they trace their stuff back to, like they can trace theirs back? I'm just saying. If they're supposedly from the same people, then that means their blood should be similar to the Ethiopians, right? But I don't think it is. I remember the Treaty of Versailles. Yeah, we named my son David after King David in the Bible because his name means beloved. In Hebrew, it means beloved. So I named him after David, because David was a man after God's own heart. And that's why we call him King David. But he was also named after his father. That's his father's name, but nobody calls his father David. Speaking of which, his father just told me like a couple of days ago that he is going to actually legally have his name showing that his first name is David. So he's going to get all his documents changed, and he's going to take the name that he's using now as his first name and make it his middle name, so that him and my son will have the same name. I said, okay, well, you might want to do it before you retire so there won't be any problems, because your birth certificate doesn't match any of your IDs. You know? But it's not my problem. But he just said he was going to do that. I thought that was interesting. Well, feel free to, Terry. What do you know? Was she an agent? Was she an agent? Because she was in India. And one thing the Catholic Church could never do is get a good hold on India. We're waiting, Terry. We're waiting. Is she an agent? Or what? I mean, was she an agent? Was she an agent? She probably was an agent, or that's how she started out as. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They lied. So they've lied to the, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The people now today, I don't think they know the truth, though. You know what I mean? Now, maybe the leadership and stuff in Israel knows, but I'm like, people here and stuff, that went through families went through the Holocaust and everything, they probably don't know nothing. They believe in the lie. So all of these people are living a lie. Living a lie. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the Armenians who went through a huger destruction all for their land and everything. And hardly any country will even acknowledge that it happened. You know? That's my problem too. That's my problem too, Terry. They're stealing somebody else's history. Meanwhile, whoever's history it truly is doesn't even know it's their history. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know it's their history, except for the Ethiopians. And that's what I talk about when I say that the Black Israelites got a little piece of the truth, but they don't know the full truth. And so they run with that little piece of the truth that they have, but they distort it and they don't really come off with it with the real knowledge. you know. But that's why we need to understand we are all through the Bible, whether we are part of the, you know, actual tribes or not. They came out of people of color, out of the people of Africa. They came out of Africans. That's who the nation of Israel came out of. They came out of different African peoples. And they can try to cover that up as much as they want. But if you open up a Bible and you read it and you know the demographics of who the people are that they came from, then you know they were in Africa and that's who they came out of. And the land of milk and honey was Canaan. And Canaan is definitely in Africa. What was the answer that they gave you for that, Terry? I got to hear this one. I want to hear the answer. I want to hear what they said as to how they got to Egypt. Oh, they never gave an answer. Interesting. Then shame, shame, shame. We all know that all the people in the Old Testament were people of color. We all know that they were people of color. The entire Old Testament was in Africa. Wow. One of the other black YouTubers was gonna do, I think, has a bunch of information on Black Wall Street, but I don't know if they're gonna put it on YouTube or if they're gonna put it on Patreon. But they have a bunch of information that's not information, that's all the way out there and everything. It'll be interesting. I'm hoping that they put it on YouTube. If they don't, I might have to pay for a month of Patreon so I can see it. I don't know. I hope they put it on, or at least put some of it on YouTube. There's so many Zionist fronts, though, Terry. If you go into some of those, the ones that are in dealing with the New World Order, you'll find that there's some Zionism behind it. Seriously. It's interesting if you look at, and there's one organization in particular, I can't think of the name of it off the top. It's Free something or another that is definitely Zionist backed. Yep. Yeah, they don't really talk about it when they, when they talk about about the Garden of Eden, they don't talk about it from the standpoint of where it is geographically, but when they say that it's the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, that's in Africa. So, and the oldest human remains ever found is in Africa still. So, they know what it is, and that's the reason why every single person on this God's green earth, when they do DNA, has some portion of sub-Saharan in them, some African in them, because we all have this one ancestor in common in Africa. So, it is what it is. Oh yeah, Rosewood, Black Wall Street. Anytime in this country, when we start to assert ourselves, we are knocked down, i.e. Black Panthers, i.e. Rosewood, i.e. Black Wall Street in Oklahoma. They're not going to let it happen. They and you have so many people that are sleeping and don't want to be woke. They don't want to wake up. They want to, they want to blame them for the problem when the problem is not them. The problem is that you want to stay asleep. So, hey, they know you want to stay asleep. They just, give you what you want. They say it's a self-contained continent. Well, to be honest with you, it has all of the resources that it needs. However, other people have been trying to rip them off of there. That's why they wanted to colonize the continent of Africa, was because of the resources that it had. And Europeans don't ask for anything. They just take it. Africa is huge. Yeah, you can't even look at the maps and stuff. Africa is huge. It's huge. It's much bigger than any other continent. It's huge. And every other continent broke off from it. So it's not little, it's big. There's 54 countries in Africa. 54 countries in Africa. No other continent has that many countries. That right there by itself tells you that it's got to be much bigger than everything else to have so many countries. The ALD definitely is. What's splitting right now? What's splitting right now? Really? Really, Matt? Where is it splitting? The East Coast, the West Coast, the southern part where South Africa is? Oh, now I gotta wait for it to come over here. You retracted it before I could read it, Terry. Let's see. Wow. That's crazy, though. Yeah, but Africa is a much larger continent than a lot of maps depict it to be, especially if you're looking at like one of them old types of globes and stuff. They make everything seem much smaller than it actually is for some freaking reason. Yeah, I know. I know Israel was part of Africa. I know. They annexed themselves with that craziness. I feel you on that. I feel you on that, Blind Needle. I'm simply stating that on maps, they seem to make the continent of Africa look smaller than it actually is, but it's impossible for it to be smaller when it has 54 countries on it. So they just distort the sizes of the continent. That's all. Yeah, but we know that Israel was originally part of Africa, and they annexed it. They annexed it. And don't they have like is there like a canal or something over there, the Suez Canal? Don't they have like the Suez Canal? Isn't the Suez Canal like by Israel and Egypt? I think it is. Because if I remember my history right, I know there was a big mess over the Suez Canal when I was younger. Okay, I will, Mark. I will, Matt. I'm gonna look it up too. I'm gonna look it up. I be looking at all kinds of stuff in the middle of the night on YouTube, y'all. Let me just say that. You know, if you want to find out something about anything, somebody's done a video about it. Because you're not the first one to think of that. Because like I did the one on the blood types and read and saw all these crazy videos about it. And some of them had a good point. It's like, you know, how do some people have with blood that's similar to the blood of the rhesus monkey? And why does the rhesus monkey have blood that's similar to some humans? Just a thought. That's why I always talk about, I was like, are we a blended species or something? What the heck's going on? But I know we don't come from monkeys. So, I don't know. You know, there could have been a point in time where in ancient man, they transfused some blood, and it, somehow some people's DNA took to it and can take it, and then some of us can't. Who knows? Palestinians do not exist. Okay, so now that would mean she's like an agent of the Church of Rome. Where I wonder, I can't even remember where her family actually was from anyway. I think she was European though. Mother Teresa, I think she was originally European. Or was she Indian? I don't remember. Shoot. I'll have to look her up as to where her family was originally from, but I don't think she was from India. I think she just went there and took on their culture. The Gall Peters, yep. Wow. That's too bad. If that's true, like I said, God will take care of it on the other side, because we only could see certain things that were going on because she was all the way over there in India. But a lot of them seem to love her and everything. But, it could also have been just, something that was perpetrated for us to see. And for us to see her, her in a specific light. Because that made the Church of Rome look good. Yeah, that's interesting though. What she said about Palestinians. Well, no, they had Saint Augustine. Was a person of color. He was actually African. And then his mother, Monica. And then they had then they had another one, Martin de Porres. So it was like three. There's like three saints of color in Roman Catholicism. She wasn't Zionist. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I remember that it was spelled with an H. Yeah, I remember it being spelled with an H. I don't even remember why I don't know why they changed the spelling of it. Yeah, you look into his history, he was an interesting character. Ciao. They were trying to annex Egypt. That's crazy. You can't. I heard about that, about them trying to make Egypt not part of Africa. You must be out your crazy mind with that one. You can't deny the Black history in Egypt. You can't deny it, and therefore you cannot take it. You cannot make it not part of Africa. There's too much African history steeped in Egypt. Wow. They had a sculpture up of him. They had a sculpture up of him. Wow. People are so fake. They hate the original people. They hate the original people. They hate the original people. We are the original people, and they hate that. And they want us to not remember that and not to understand that. They want us to not understand that. That's insane. Yeah, I heard about when they were trying to annex Egypt. That doesn't even, but it's like you can't make Egypt not be part of Africa. Well, that's a good thing. Some people just hate themselves, hate their own history. You know? They hate themselves. They hate their history. Well, the thing is that it would take everyone to be awake, Terry. Everybody would have to wake up. Everybody would have to wake up. And that's simply not going to happen. But we can still keep trying to make sure that we enlighten as many people as possible. You know? Yeah, no. I don't have time for human worship either. Nope, not at all. Yeah, I don't do the pictures of Jesus. That's just like, stop it. And plus, I never liked those pictures because it always felt like the eyes would be following you. They're creepy pictures. Don't like them. I remember my great aunt had one of those pictures on the stairs in our house. And I used to always, when I would be there, I would always go by and put a towel over it. And I would just say, God, forgive me. I know that's not Jesus, though. But I can't stand those pictures. They're creepy to me. Yeah, I just didn't like those pictures for nothing. Everybody, we all have that feeling. It's like, are those eyes following me? You know? And they're all drawn of this, making him look like a punk. Jesus wasn't no punk. But they make him look like a punk. They make him look like a punk. Yeah, they make him look like some frail man. A frail man could not have taken all those whips on his back. A frail man would not have been able to hang up there all those hours before he died. So that's why I'm like, y'all can miss me with the frail looking man. That man could not have carried a cross, and just couldn't have happened. You know? I know, Terry. I'm telling you, when you just really dig and you want to know the truth and you find out the truth, it's just like, okay, how do people not know this? How do people not know this? Is what you want to say. How do they not know this? Oh yeah, he was a peaceful warrior, but he sure turned over that temple when they were in there, had turned it into a bazaar. He went in there and threw them people up out of there and had a whip in his hand. Okay, so that's not the frail looking man that they show you. He wasn't scared of nobody. He wasn't scared of nobody. So, yeah. But, you know, this is a trip. I had no idea that this was the direction that our conversation was going to go tonight. It has gone to a deep level. It has gone to a deep level. Now, Terry, you got me gone. I'm going to be doing some researching. Matt, you got me researching too. So I'm going to be doing some researching between now and tomorrow. Wow. Oh no. This isn't bothering me at all. I'm an enlightened one. I'm just saying, you just gave me some more stuff to really, really just, compact and put in my head and do some more research. Shoot. This has been off the chain. A very, very good. We've had a good conversation in the chat. This has been good conversation. Y'all know I'm nerdy. I love knowledge. I thrive on it. I like giving it and I like receiving it. So oh really? That is so good. I'll have to go by her channel. Okay. I hear you on that, Terry. No, this is a great conversation. That's why I just kind of let, our conversation go wherever. I don't like to force it to go one way or another way, because that's why I call it not so random chat, because it's never going to be random, whatever we're talking about, and it can go so many different directions. And I love how everyone is so participant in the conversation and helps to just, naturally allow it to progress. I love that. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm happy for her as well, Blind Nino. But guys, I'm going to take us off right now. We've been on for a while tonight, and it's like 1:15 in the morning on the West Coast. And I promise I do plan on getting up in the morning and going and saying my piece to God. So I will be back on later today. I promise. And we will continue our conversations wherever they may go. I will also be doing some more reading. I know it's 4:15 for you, Toya. I will also be doing some more reading on Miss Crawford's book. So I should be able to get through another couple of chapters today before we get on tonight. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thank you, thank you, thank you to my mods. It is always a pleasure and an honor for you guys to come into my chat and be in here with me. And I thank you to everybody who comes in, all my faithful guys for coming through, especially on a Saturday night where you could be someplace else other than online in my chat. So I appreciate it, everybody. So until tomorrow, though, or later today, rather. Peace, guys, from the West Side. Bye, everybody. We're going to have to talk about that too, Toya. Dr. Seavy's book, definitely. All right. Talk to you guys later.